Oh, a microphony.
And a phony at the mic.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
The Doctor of Discernment is now online.
You know, much like my show, in that it's a local reaction to things that are happening on a federal level.
Dispensing a daily dose of common sense. No prescription required.
Wow, do I have a boatload of stuff for you, from the crazy to the absurd. Let's start getting into it because, I mean, it is bizarro world out there. And I say, if it's obvious to me, should be obvious to everyone. Oh, wow. Who could have seen this coming?
This is the Fourth Hour with Greg Belfrage.
Hold on to your butts.
Broadcasting from my basement bunker beneath Keller Radio. Welcome to the Fourth Hour. It is great to have you along again. Let's take a look at what is going on in Minnesota. There's a new report. There's a major state audit in Minnesota that was conducted by the nonpartisan office of the legislative auditor. Found a number of failures, widespread failures, internal control problems, and massive fraud issues potentially. So according to this report, I'm not going to read through it, just give you a very, very kind of a quick overview. They found that Minnesota Department of Human Services Behavioral Health Administration failed to properly oversee $425 million in taxpayer-funded grants that were meant to support mental health and substance abuse programs. Auditors reported missing progress reports, incomplete monitoring, and in many cases, no records at all. In some instances, no records at all. DHS staff created or backdated documents then during the audit. So once they knew that people were looking into it and wanting more information, they were creating and backdating documents to try to make it look like, oh yeah, there was appropriate oversight that was ongoing. This is what's going on in the state of Minnesota right now. It's and this goes on. The audit highlighted unusual conduct, such as a grant manager. Now get a load of this because this is pretty crazy. A grant manager up from the state of Minnesota approved over $600,000 in payments to a particular organization. And then once that was approved, actually left Minnesota state government and went to work for the organization where she had given the $600,000 grant. What? Tell me that's not wrong. Republican lawmakers in Minnesota say it shows a complete breakdown in accountability, in misconduct that erodes public trust. No kidding. You think? The acting DHS commissioner said the agency will use the report as a roadmap to improve oversight. Government is so dysfunctional. And it's not just Minnesota government, but this is a major state audit coming from Minnesota today with more fraud. And I'm trying to see, this DHS in Minnesota dished out more than $425 million in grants to 830 organizations, the majority being non-governmental. And they did not show proper oversight in watching the taxpayer funds. So that's what the climate is in the state of Minnesota. I mentioned this near the end of the program this morning, that Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison met in 2021 with, there's an audio recording of him meeting with members of the Somali community. Problem is that later these members of the Somali community were convicted for defrauding millions of dollars in taxpayer money. So Fox News had the recording. And the fraudsters could be heard asking Ellison then to help them secure, of course, more funding. What do they want? More. And you can hear them saying the only way that we can protect what we have is by inserting ourselves into the political arena, putting our votes where it needs to be, but most importantly, putting our dollars in the right place and supporting candidates that will fight to protect our interests. This is what one of the Somali people could be heard saying. And then Ellison says, that's right. So now he's denying that there was any wrongdoing. He has returned money. But he said, I took a meeting in good faith with people I didn't know. Some turned out to have done bad things. I did nothing for them and took nothing from them. And if you believe that, just absolutely crazy. Other happenings here this morning that I want to touch on. U.S. forces boarded and seized a sanctioned oil tanker this morning. And this was more than 2 weeks after this oil tanker had eluded a blockade around Venezuela, and it was reflagged a Russian vessel. So the Russian vessels are trying to, elude the blockade that the United States has in place around Venezuela. So this morning, military and Coast Guard boarded the ship. And I'm trying to see what else has happened here. So the vessel was seized. Multiple outlets reported late Tuesday that Russia had dispatched military ships and a submarine to help the vessel reach Moscow's waters ahead of the American pursuit. Didn't happen. Americans got there in time. Pete Hegseth said the blockade of sanctioned and illicit Venezuelan oil remains in full effect anywhere in the world. So again, the Russians monkeying around in the Western Hemisphere like this. Yeah, I think that's trying to see if there was any other details that I wanted to share with you. I think that's pretty much it. All right, I've got to share these stories. I've been watching this, what's going on in New York City with the election of Zoran Mamdani and the people that he is putting in place and what's going on there. Now, I've been watching that. I've not been talking about it a lot because there have been, I think, much bigger stories to bigger fish to fry versus what's going on in New York City. But it's going to be, there's a phrase I want to use and I can't say it, but it's going to be a show. I mean, it really is. So there's a woman that Zoran Mamdani put in place, Sia Weaver, there are questions about some of the comments that she has made in the past. So much so that Kirsten Fleming at the New York Post has got a piece saying that she needs to be evicted from the job after showing her hateful true colors. I want to give you a little bit of background before I dive into this latest story, because she is the radical left tenant advocate that is in play, and she's been calling for seizing private property. So in 2018, she called for, she's a socialist. She's an outright socialist. So it's not much of a surprise that Mamdani is surrounding himself then with other socialists. And it's going to be bad in New York City. It is going to be bad. So Weaver said that home ownership is a weapon of white supremacy. There's a video from 2021 that's making the rounds. She says property should be transitioned toward a model of shared equity. So in other words, you own property. Oh, that doesn't belong to you. That belongs to the community. Is that offensive to you? Because that bothers the hell out of me. And she says, it will mean that families, especially white families, but some POC families who are homeowners, well, are going to have a different relationship to property than the one we currently have. What? Just absolutely incredible. So these comments are really catching up with her. She is a member of the Democratic Socialists of America. When she was appointed then by Mamdani, she immediately deleted her X account. That's never a good sign. So you get into government service and immediately delete your X account. And that's what she did. Like that's going to erase. There are people who keep track of this stuff. There really are. I mean, okay, you erased it. Maybe we can't go to your account now. That doesn't mean that others haven't and that there are no records of what she said. And Kirsten Fleming is saying that alone should disqualify her from government service in New York. You get appointed, you immediately delete your X account. That alone should disqualify you. And this goes on to talk about it. And she's using all of the socialist left-wing terminology. There's no such thing as a good gentrifier. Only people who are working on projects to dismantle white supremacy and capitalism and people who aren't. So either you're working to dismantle white supremacy and capitalism. I mean, these people are Looney Tunes nuts. 2018, she called to impoverish the white middle class. Home ownership, those of you who are homeowners, listen to this. Home ownership is racist, she said. She endorsed in 2017, no more white men in office platform. And she was responding then to someone in particular, Brad Landers. She said, beat it. She has written that this country built wealth for white people through genocide, slavery, stolen land, and labor. And it just goes on. This one really got under my skin. She said at one point, talking about adult males, talking about me, folks like me, I wish I believed in God so I could believe that all men who take credit for women's work and all white men who take credit for the work of women of color would one day burn. That's who this woman is. And she is forgive me, I don't have her, got to catch her official title in New York City. She is running the Office to Protect Tenants. Okay. This is the woman now who's in charge of that. The Office to Protect Tenants. And already this is getting the attention of the Trump administration. And Harmeet, I think it was, Harmeet Dillon, who is the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights at the Department of Justice. Somebody who I greatly admire, actually, is Harmeet Dillon. For those of you who follow her on social media, really somebody, I think she's incredible, quite a person of, anyway, she said, we will not tolerate discrimination based on skin color. Harmeet Dillon said yesterday, it is illegal, capital letters, illegal. And she says DOJ Civil Rights Division is paying close attention. So Dillon did an interview with One American News, And she said the New York City should be on notice. They're on high scrutiny. She said we have several federal statutes that explicitly protect people of all colors and all different backgrounds and military status and so forth from the exact kind of land grabs and reallocation and redistribution that is being promised in New York. So Mamdani, of course, is saying, no, he's standing by her. He's going to stand, but Harmeet Dillon says DOJ is watching. That they are, that their civil rights division is going to take action if they try to make good on any of that in New York City. So now this information has been coming out here over the course of the last couple of days. What her posts are, what she said, what she's done, and that's starting to get traction. And the New York Post has a story this morning. Mayor Zohran Mamdani's newly instated radical left tenant advocate, Sia Weaver, broke down Wednesday as she dodged questions from reporters about her gentrification hypocrisy. So she has been faced backlash for blasting homeownership as a weapon of white supremacy. And so the media is approaching her about this morning. And here I'm not going to share the photo with you. You can find this story at the New York Post. New York Post has been covering this stuff pretty hard. Obviously, they're based in New York City. So they have been covering this fairly diligently. So she's approached by reporters and freaking photo of her, big photo of her in tears, breaking down in tears, refusing to answer questions, running into government buildings as soon as she can. Oh, it's going to be a show in New York City. I mean, it is going to. Now, will it change people? Will it? I have no idea anymore. I really don't. I'm a little, when I talked about this on the air this morning, President Trump, who was talking about the midterms and and saying, I don't know what in the hell's going on in this country anymore. I feel that way every day. And it's because of this kind of stuff. You look at that and you're like, what? I mean, it just is absolutely mind-blowing as you watch what's unfolding. And that is what a lot of these folks, they would love to see that installed all throughout the country. I mean, that's the path that the left is on in this country. These socialists, they don't even try to hide themselves anymore. Zohran Mamdani, I mean, he's very honest and open about who he was, and he won election anyway. I mean, that is mind-blowing to me. You think, no, there's no way that's going to happen, right? There's no way that can happen, that he would actually win. No. And then you see who he is surrounding himself with. There are going to be tough days ahead for New York City. I mean, if those are the kind of people that are being installed in positions of authority in New York City, as bad as it is, will only get worse. I mean, it's New York State. It's New York City. And for the life of me, so much of this, I just don't understand. What is it that, I've wondered, is it something in the water? What is it that just absolutely turns these people upside down, crazy, off the wall, Looney Tune nuts? Just amazing to me. All right, my friend, I'm going to leave it there for today. I'm going to remind you, no Greg Belfrage show next week. And we'll see as to whether or not I'm able to do some of the fourth hour. If I'm feeling up to it, if I'm expecting a little bit of eye pain. I talked about it at length yesterday, so I won't revisit that today. But I'll be out. I'm having a procedure done on my eye next week, and then I've got to go in for subsequent appointments next week to get my vision in my left eye squared away. But if I'm feeling up to it, I will totally do the 4th hour from home. So I'll be set up for that and ready if my vision is allowing me to be able to read and see what's going on. And so I hope you'll be around at least for that, because I hate not doing the 4th hour. I really do. One of the things about social media in particular is you need to be a constant presence. People need to be able to count on you. So if you're there weekdays, you can't suddenly for some weekdays be gone. It's just has a real impact on the numbers, for instance, on YouTube and so on. If you're not a subscriber of mine on YouTube, please become one. If that's where you're watching, a lot of folks do. Get hundreds of views each day on YouTube. And I'm trying to grow that, trying to increase the number of our subscribers. If you're someone who believes in truth and justice and the American way, and you appreciate what we're doing, please subscribe. Please become a subscriber on YouTube. It makes a real big difference. Then you wind up bringing more people into what we're doing. So you hitting the subscribe button or you hitting the like button, it really makes a difference. And I want to thank those of you who are doing it, because I'm seeing it on my Facebook page that more people are hitting the like button. There's a certain level of crazies on my Facebook page. I just let them go. I don't respond to them. I just let them go. But YouTube, same thing. Hitting that like button, sharing, all of that makes an incredible difference. And I appreciate it. Anytime you do that, I really, really appreciate it. So you have made it to the end of the video today. We'll leave it there for now. You are part of my gallery of champions. Special salute to the Bunker Brigade, the folks that are here each and every day. They're commenting on YouTube. They're sharing. They're hitting the like button. That's the Bunker Brigade. And on the air, we call them, this is ratings, the radio ratings jargon, is your P1 listener, primary. It's your primary one listener. They love your show. They love what you do. And that's the Bunker Brigade. They're terrific, terrific, very supportive folks. Appreciate all of you. So I will see you again tomorrow. Let's leave it there until now. Until then, I'm underground and gone.